Welcome back. Taking a multivitamin every day may help you age slower, especially the older you are. At least that's what a new study suggests. Some experts, though, are expressing caution about taking the study at face value. There are always experts who express caution about taking any study at face value. Our medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley, joins us right now. And where do you want to start with this particular study?
So fascinating study. I mean, the fact that we're even looking at vitamins and supplements as a way to impact aging, to me, is a whole new frontier in science, because we know aging is one of the hardest challenges for us, not only to assess because we don't know how to study aging, but then also to think about how do we modify aging, because we've really moved away from preventing disease to actually prolonging life, but good life, healthy life.
So, okay, multivitamin. I don't know this because I haven't really used this, but are they all the same, just different brands, or is this like really about what's in the multivitamin that they're talking about here?
So they're talking about micronutrients and vitamins in the vitamin. That's what they think. But the one that they used in this particular trial was the Centrum Silver, and they used it in older adults. So adults about the average age of 70. And what they did is they randomized you to either get a sugar pill or to get the multivitamin. And then they didn't look at actually, you know, in terms of figuring out how you age, they looked at 5 different biological aging clocks, which are how is your DNA changed. And then they compared it what they expected to happen. And what they found is the people that got the multivitamin, their DNA aged 4 months slower. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to live 4 months longer. It just means on a cellular level, you're aging a little bit slower when you get that multivitamin. So it's got us all really interested.
And this brings me back to a conversation you and I had about another topic we were talking about. And this really got me thinking, because we've lengthened the amount of time people are living. But you say it's not real. Don't look at it that way. Look at the quality of life and do everything you can do to have the best quality of life. So what's the difference between the two?
Yep, so lifespan versus health span.
Yeah.
So that's also similar to your chronological age versus your biological age. So lifespan is how long you live, how many years on earth, that's your chronological age. Health span is how many of those years are healthy. And if you look on a molecular level, a biological clock really looks at kind of the DNA markers of health, the blood test markers of health. So they look at how your cells are aging as a way to know whether or not you're aging faster, slower, or at the same rate. So you could be 50 years old and have the body of a 30-year-old, or you could be 50 years old and have the body of an 80-year-old.
So in these multivitamins, what vitamins, supplements were the most relevant in this study?
So they didn't look at that, but they had an arm that looked at cocoa.
Oh, okay.
Sponsored by Mars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Mars?
That's right.
So cocoa in addition to a vitamin?
Yep, so it was a 2x2 matrix looking at vitamins.
Chocolate?
Yes, ma'am.
Sponsored by Mars.
Okay, but
take that with a grain of salt or a grain of sugar, or whatever you want.
Maybe a little grain of cocoa.
Cocoa.
But it didn't show any change in the biological clocks.
Okay.
Now, we looked at cocoa because we know that it has a lot of bioactive compounds, polyphenols, flavonols. We know that it can also affect chronic inflammation, and we call it inflammaging, because inflammation is one of the biggest drivers of aging. But in this particular trial, the cocoa had no benefit.
Well, we don't need a study to say that it makes you happy. But let's talk about the multivitamins, because when you look at them, it seems like a good idea to take them, but then you look and it's like multivitamins for women over 30 and for men over 50. And does that make a difference?
So it's probably different composition of vitamins and minerals, but I will say too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So this trial does not convince me, even though it was a randomized trial, high quality of evidence, that my patients need to run out and get a multivitamin. Now, if you're vitamin deprived because you're an older adult who's not eating a well-balanced diet, you have a GI disorder that prevents absorption of vitamins, or you're vegan, you don't get a lot of B12, those are select populations where I might use it selectively. But this is not going to prevent us, popping a pill is not going to prevent us from aging.
It's not a magic bullet.
What we need to do is think about how to get those nutrients from our food and our diet. So to me, this shifts the focus on just how important vitamins and minerals are, but not necessarily through the form of a pill, which can have binders and fillers and too much beta carotene, which can cause cancer and other types of things. So I'm really going to start counseling my patients to think more mindfully about their nutrition, what they're putting inside their body, because it could affect their aging, but not necessarily through a pill. And then if they want a little cocoa,
I think I just need to say this publicly. That's what my wife has been telling me for years. Get these nutrients and vitamins
You're a little bit picky
from your.
though, aren't you?
I am a picky eater, and that's why I try to do other things. But if my wife is saying it and Dr. Coley's saying it, I'm wrong.
Listen to the women in your life.
We're gonna slow Phil's aging and keep him around forever.
Thanks. As always, Dr. Coley, thank you.